I promise that if you do everything in this video, you will drastically improve as a writer and your stories will reach the next level. This is the ultimate storytelling challenge. You are going to start by writing 5 one-page stories. This exercise is meant to teach you how to get rid of all the filler in your stories by focusing in what is important. Also, the one-page limit is going to force you to finish a few stories so you can analyze them as a whole. A lot of writers start with an ambitious story that takes them years to finish, and because of that, they get stuck. Now it's time to get some theory. You should read The Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. This will give you a good perspective of what storytelling is and engrave in your head the hero's journey. Another book that is really important for your journey as a writer is Story by Robert McKee. To give you a strong foundation of storytelling, just by doing these 3 things you will improve a lot, but we still have a long way to go, so let's do something different. Watch again your favorite show and write a detailed critique with what you learn from those books. Since you are familiar with the story you are watching, focusing on the creative choices will help you understand the story better. Try to do the same exercise for your favorite movie, comic or video game, and try to think of what choices were different, having in consideration the limits different types of media have. Now let's improve your characters with the next exercise. You are going to write a story of around 5 pages, but with 2 conditions. The first one is that there should be only one location in your story, and the other one is to only use 2 or 3 characters. This will force you to write character interactions by enclosing your characters in a single location. Let's get back to reading for a bit. In order to improve your characters, you should read Creating Character Arcs, The Masterful Author's Guide to Uniting Story Structure, Plot, and Character Development, and the book Dialogue by Robert McKee. These 2 books, like their names implied, are going to give you a lot of information in character development and characterization. Now that you have that information, do the previous exercise and compare the 2 executions to see what improved and what could be improved in future stories. Probably the pacing and structure, so let's focus on that. Time to watch some movies. Pick 3 movies, one that you are familiar with, another that is new and you haven't seen, and one that is old and you haven't seen. You should watch them preferably in a way that allows you to see the progress bar, because that will help you with this exercise. Now, stop the movie at minute 10 and ask yourself what happened in the movie so far. Did you learn anything important about the main character? Is something really interesting happening? Let's keep watching until half of the movie has passed. Stop again just at the middle of the progress bar and ask yourself the same questions. Let's keep watching the movie until 2/3 of the movie have passed. Are things happening faster or slower? Why? And then you finish the movie. Do the same thing for the other 2 movies and compare the answers to the questions. What was the difference? Take in consideration the difference in genre and year of release. Now let's learn more about the structure and pacing. For that, you are going to read The Anatomy of a Story, 22 Steps to Becoming a Master Storyteller. You are going to learn about story structure and the different types of bodies the stories have, because stories come in different shapes and forms. Let's try to test our knowledge one more time. You are going to pick 3 stories. It could be a movie, a game, a comic, a TV show, a novel, manga, anime, whatever you want, but story driven. Now, what was the first image in the story? And what was the last? What does those images mean? What is their contrast? What do they mean together? And what was the structure of the story to take us from the opening image to the closing image? You should be ready for another exercise. After all, in order to be a writer, you should write. So this time, try to use everything you learn until this point in a 10-page story. That is the only condition. The story should be 10 pages because sometimes when you're applying for a writing job, they would ask you for writing samples, usually 10 pages or less. Not only that, if you want to sell a TV pilot or feature film screenplay, producers often focus on the page 10. That's why when you were watching movies before, usually between the minute 8 and 12, something interesting is happening. This is especially true for modern movies, not so much with some of the older ones. After you wrote your 10-page story, let's watch some more stories, but this time something from a genre or media you usually avoid. Maybe that show everyone is talking about but you haven't watched, or a really bad movie. We can learn from any story, and the inspiration for your next masterpiece could come from anywhere. It's time for some practical advices. Read Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. This book is really light and full of practical fun advices that will help you in your storytelling career. This last book focuses on screenwriting, but it will still help you if you want to write for other types of media. Now, it's time for a part of this challenge that is extremely important, and I think it will help you a lot. Subscribe to this channel because I intend to keep posting videos with helpful content for your stories. At the end, close this challenge with one story, no limit in pages. It could be for any type of media, no restrictions. Give it your best and compare this story with the first story you wrote for the challenge. I guarantee you that you will see improvement. After you are done with every single point of this challenge, come back to this video and tell me how much you have improved. So go ahead and write, read, and create some characters and worlds. I believe in you.